Hi, I'm Dr. Eric Ridland. I have a practice in Charlottesville, Virginia, and also see patients in Florida. I am a holistic pediatrician. I've been doing holistic medicine for children for 32 years. Recently, over the last 14 to 18 years, I've been dealing a lot with children that have things along the autism spectrum. There was a study done by the National Institutes of Health, now about 10 years ago, where they measured chemicals in a newborn baby's blood, cord blood, at birth, and they found an average of 200 out of 240 some chemicals that were measured. An average child is born with over 200 chemical residues, or about 60–70% of those that were tested. Now, of course, in our environment, we have thousands, tens of thousands different chemicals. They only measured 240 in the system. So we do need to detoxify children's systems based upon the fact that they have these chemical toxins. Again, these can be transmitted during the birthing process, but they're easily absorbed from the environment after birth. So with children, our approach is to start with some of the basics. We want to start with dealing, again, with the medical causation of the condition itself, look at the basic history, look at the physical examination for clues that might be there, and then we start a basic program involving some detoxification, some rebalancing of the intestinal tract. We look very carefully at the body temperatures to see what's going on. We may do some basic laboratory work. I've learned over 32 years of practice that we need to make things real for people. There's an ideal, and ideally that would be wonderful to give supplements 10 or 12 times a day, to give 30 or 40 different kinds of supplements, and to do thousands of dollars worth of tests. However, that's not where people are in a real situation. So we try to keep those costs down. I think it's very important to address the basic issues, see how the child's doing, see how the body responds, give it some time. It's very important for people to understand this is not an overnight process. This is something that does take time. We look at later on down the road, we look at doing things that are more intensive therapies or deeper issues. For example, vitamin B12 injections, chelation, etc. So we correct the adrenal and thyroid imbalances. We correct heavy metals, we correct yeast imbalances, we work with the diet, and then add certain supplements as a base, and then start the child on a healthier road that not only will benefit their health. What we find with most of these children, for example, is that they are sick a lot less often because their health is being restored. And restore what their body needs most of the time. If we can deal with those issues, the body will do the rest. We don't have to get into extensive or expensive treatments in most cases. If we give the body time to do things, we do things in a physiological manner. One example in our practice is a little girl, and by the way, most children on the spectrum are boys, but this was a little girl that came in to me about 4 or 5 years ago. And she had not only had autism, but also had cerebral palsy. She'd been diagnosed with both conditions. So I discussed with the parents, we can deal with the autism. Cerebral palsy is a permanent condition, and there's nothing that we can do for that, but we'll deal with the autism and work on improving function. Interestingly enough, on the latter part, I was wrong. I was always trained that cerebral palsy was permanent. In this case, as we were dealing with the autism and the child was responding to our treatments, the cerebral palsy got better too. She was able to lose her braces. She didn't need her braces for her feet anymore. She no longer needs glasses, and she's normally functional in, I think she's in kindergarten or first grade class, but she's normally functioning in school without any assistance or any problems. Obviously, every child's situation is different.